Good evening and welcome everyone. Welcome everybody. I can see we are 29 in the attendance right now. Um, my name is Amoga Derek and I'm your host for this evening. And I welcome you officially to the Machine Learning Study Jam by Yes. So let's in collaboration with Infotest. Yes. So while we wait for our guest speaker to join us, let's all relax and then enjoy the cool jams. Thank you.
Versatility ló yà wọ́n lẹ́nu. Better recognize. Greatest of all time. No other name they go call mine. As I dey chant it another time. Tuesday, Talaba. Wednesday, Talaba. Strongest Jalaba. And they call me Picard. Move like an Italian. Talaba,
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I would like to see you drop an emoji in the chat section about how you're feeling. If you're feeling enthusiastic, I'd like to see you in the comments in the chat section. Let us do that. We are anticipating for this event. I want to know how you feel before the event kicks off. Starting in a few minutes. Starting in a few minutes. So kindly go to the chat section and let us know how you feel. They're going to put the fire emoji. Let's do that. Let's do that. Welcome to the event. Welcome to the event. Oh, darling. Today is all about AI and machine learning. Today is about machine learning and AI. So let's all get through the requirements for this event. You need to get your Anaconda pipeline ready. You need to get your Kaggle account ready. And you need to get your GitHub account ready. was mute. Hello and welcome once again. Hello and welcome. I muted myself earlier on. Welcome to the Machine Learning AI Study Jam. My name is Amawoga Derek, and I happen to be your host for this evening. I welcome you all once again to this event. I am really, really psyched. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. Let us know how you feel in the chat. These are the prerequisites for the Machine Learning AI session this evening. I kindly advise that you have your Anaconda Python ready, your Kaggle account, and then GitHub so you don't fall behind. Again, Anaconda Python, Kaggle account, and GitHub accounts. Kindly get these ready because they will be used later in the session. So, looking at some objectives for this evening, the first objective is to learn about fundamentals of Python, delving into the syntax, data types, variable assignments, lists, dictionaries, tuples, and sets. And then we're going to be, another objective is going to be building foundational machine learning skills through Python, and then also fostering a hands-on and collaborative learning environment. I really can't wait to get into this. I hope you're psyched for this event as I am. These are the major topics we'll be covering in the course of the Machine Learning AI Study Jam. So it entails a whole lot. I mean, who is not going to be excited to see this? Man, you have Python fundamentals, machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, and time series analysis. I don't even know what that is. Well, I'm sure I'm going to find out at the end of the Machine Learning AI Study Jam. And I hope you also find out what this is. I am really here to learn. Yes, so we are going to be moving on to meet our facilitators. These are the people who I call the pillars, those who are really going to be taking us through everything. They'll be taking us through. They'll be with us from the beginning through and then till the end. Yes, they are really the core pillars of this event. Let's take a look and then let's find out who these people are. First off, we have a very important person who happens to be our guest speaker in the person of Dr. Ben Bright Benoit, who is a senior lecturer at the Department of Information Communication and Communication Technology, University of Education, Winneba. Yes, so we are going to be having a brief word from our guest speaker, and he's going to be touching on the overview and importance of machine learning and AI. Machine learning and AI. Dr. Ben Bright Benoit. This would have been a standing ovation if we were in an in-person event. But then we are going to pass on the floor to Dr. Ben Bright Benoit so he can enlighten us on the overview and importance of machine learning and AI. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank
Hello,
you very
sir.
much, Derek, for the introduction. Yes, so basically, this workshop is meant for us to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so basically, this workshop or today's workshop is for us to learn about machine learning as well as artificial intelligence, and probably different between machine learning and then artificial intelligence. Yeah, so
Wow.
just a minute so that I can share my slide for you guys.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, I've stopped sharing, sir, so you can share your slides. Hello, sir. Please, have you been able to share your screen?
Not yet, not yet.
Hello, sir. Please, I would like to know if you're able to find a share permission on your side. Okay, you are going to share screen. Yes. So
Is it visible?
yes, it's visible.
It's
We can see your screen, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
can see my slides now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's okay.
Why is still not in the meeting?
Right. So if you cannot see this screen, you can see that there's an artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural nets, and then we have the deep learning. Now, artificial intelligence is in the bigger circle, and machine learning is within the artificial intelligence. So the bigger umbrella here is artificial intelligence. Now, so whilst artificial intelligence encompasses the idea of machines to mimic or designing machines to mimic human intelligence, machine learning aims to teach how to perform a specific task or how machines perform specific tasks. So what it means is that artificial intelligence is to design machines or create machines to mimic human intelligence or to behave like human beings. Whereas machine learning is to teach machines. A machine that has been designed to mimic human intelligence, the machine learning aspect of it is to teach the machine that you design using the artificial intelligence techniques to perform specific tasks. So that's the difference between machine learning and intelligence, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence, we are actually in the era where the application of this artificial intelligence as well as the machine learning is applicable in every sector. So during the course of my presentation, we'll be looking at some application areas of what? AI or artificial intelligence. Now, under the machine learning itself, there are some learning types. We have some other learning types. So let's go back to the image. I'm sure you can see deep learning, and then there's machine learning, and deep learning is actually embedded in the machine learning. So what it means is that deep learning itself is also a kind of machine learning, but that kind of machine learning is categorized in a way. The reason why you have it in a smaller circle under the machine learning. Now, so the machine learning has some learning types. We'll look at those ones in our subsequent engagements. So you have what we call the reinforcement learning. We have what we call supervised learning, and we have unsupervised learning. there is that we also call semi-supervised learning. So during the course of our engagements, we'll be looking at some examples of these learning types that we have. Now, I want to ask, what's the difference between deep learning and machine learning or machine learning itself? Now, the learning or teaching machines to behave like human beings started long ago, and it has some challenges, or it actually faced some challenges. In order to address those challenges, we introduce what we call the deep learning. So the deep learning is actually introduced or was introduced to address some of the challenges that come with the machine learning. Now, for instance, as human beings, when you see the handle of a motorbike, you can actually tell that that's the handle of a motorbike. When you see the handle of a bicycle, you can actually tell that that's the handle of a bicycle as human beings. And so, because machines are supposed to be designed to mimic the behavior of human beings, it is expected that the machine must also recognize and differentiate between these objects. But it's somehow difficult at times to recognize such objects using the actual machine learning techniques that we have. So that actually gave birth to the deep learning. So deep learning can actually recognize any aspect or any component or any object, whereas the machine learning may have, the traditional machine learning techniques may have some challenges. Okay, so if you have questions, you can write them down after the presentations. I'm sure there's a session for questions and answers, and then we'll pick at that one. Now, so as I was saying, we are actually in an era where there's a need for us to learn or equip ourselves with some of these techniques, machine learning techniques, as well as what artificial intelligence really is. Now, so we can't run away from that. The people are of the view that machine learning has come to take up the jobs of human beings. But that is not entirely true. That is not the case. As human beings, what we need to do is to equip ourselves with the requisite skills in order for us to survive in this era. So if you can see on your slide, we are saying that artificial intelligence is an innovation that is what? Revolutionizing industries, reshaping economics, and redefining the future of what? Humanity. So as you navigate through this century, it has become a beacon of technical advancement in order for us to embrace. Now, so by way of presentation, we're looking at some application areas. First of all, in education and in healthcare, as well as what? In agriculture. Now, the first one we can talk about is personalized learning. Personalized learning. And an example of such tools or platform that we can use for that is the Khan Academy and Duolingo app that you can use to perform what we call adaptive learning. So what it means is that this platform is able to learn based on what students post or how they respond to questions, or based on their performance, as well as the feedback they actually get from the students. Based on that, they can give you some preferences as to the kind of things that you are associated with. So in such way, in that case, what it means is that it is tailored to, the system is designed in a way to adjust itself to suit the kind of things you do in that particular environment. And they also have the automated grading and feedback. So this is also a software that is used to evaluate student responses, and it's also provided feedback. And this is also based on predefined criteria. So such systems we can talk of what? Gradescope and Turnitin. Now this platform or these systems can automatically grade students. So for assignments and quizzes and exams, this system can automatically do what? Grade them. So we call them the automated grading and feedback system. Then education, we can also talk of plagiarism detection, which of course most of us might be familiar with. So this is also a software that also has the intelligence to detect plagiarized documents. So for instance, so what it means is that as scholars, if you take an idea for somebody or from a book or from somewhere, they are supposed to recognize that particular source. And even that, they are not supposed to write the thing verbatim. They are supposed to paraphrase it in a way. So there's also this system that we can use to what? Detect what? Plagiarism. And that's what that's also another application of what? AI in education. Then we can also look at predictive analytics for student sources. So this is also an AI-based algorithm that can be used to analyze vast amount of student data, which of course includes the student performance, attendance, and engagement metrics to identify students who may probably be at risk. Now, so students that are probably that may be at risk may need for some form of additional support. So this we can also get from an AI-based system. That such systems refer to as what predictive analytics for students. Then we also have what we call the virtual teaching assistant. Now these days, when you go to most websites, especially school websites, educational websites, when you visit the site, there's always an AI enabled, or what we call it, section that you can interact with the site at a go. And that is what we are referring to as what? As a virtual teaching assistant. An example of that is the AI chatbot, which of course I'm sure most of us may have experienced visiting some of the websites online. Then we can also talk about application of AI in agriculture. Now, so we can monitor crop and soil using an AI device or an AI technique. So because these crops are very essential now, because the world population is increasing, the demand for food is also increasing. So because of that, we must produce what meet the demand, and human capacity may not be able to do what plants to meet the demand. So what we do is to also use AI to monitor vast farms, and then we also monitor the soil as to whether the soil is fertile for a particular plant, because it's not every plant that you plant at a particular location. So we monitor the soil and see if the soil is suitable for a particular plant. So that we can also do using an AI technique. And then we also have what we call the insect plant disease detection. So machine learning algorithms can be designed using deep learning or any of the machine learning techniques to classify images from the farm, or to detect pest infestation from the farm. We can also do image segmentation through that. Most of these details we have to look at later. Then we also have livestock health monitoring. So in a particular animal animal farm, we can also monitor the health of these animals. So the farm can be equipped with cameras. These cameras will take live images from the farms based on the behavior of the animal. The system should be able to tell whether the animal is suffering from a particular ailment or not. So that is also there. Then we also have intelligent spraying. Yes. Now, you don't spray or you don't water a plant just anyhow. Plants are supposed to be watered when the weather is suitable for the plant to be watered. So, for instance, if the weather is very hot and you water the plant, the heat can kill the plant. So, an AI-enabled sprinkler can also be designed to check the moisture of the soil and see whether it is dry or not. If it's dry, it means it has to be watered. And if it's dry and the weather is not favorable for it to be watered, it shouldn't water. So we can also use AI technique in spraying our plants as well. Then automatic weeding. We have what we call these large farms. So as human beings, you're able to kind of differentiate between a weed and a plant. So it should also be possible for an AI-enabled robot to differentiate between a plant and a weed. So if that happens, they can able to weed or uproot the weed from the farm with ease. I think I have just 10 minutes, and I'm sure I don't know if I can do more. Or
yes, sir. We actually against the time. You are way past 10 minutes. Though we've been on 14 minutes right now.
So what I can say is that AI has come to stay, and AI is not here to take up the jobs of human beings. What we need to do as human beings is to equip ourselves with the necessary skills in order to survive in this era. So this is a very good workshop that will help us to learn the application, the design, and the use of some of this systems or some of these models. And so thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you very much, Dr. Benoit, for that insightful presentation. Yeah, we really heard a lot about AI, from intelligent spraying to livestock health monitoring, large language models, and a whole lot. Yes, I saw some people raising up their hands. Please kindly jot down your questions. There will be a feedback session and a question and answer session where you will be able to ask all these questions. Yes, so moving on, we would like to hand over the mic to Mr. Emmanuel Kwesiba. He is a computer scientist and a researcher, a software consultant, and above all, a lecturer at Lancaster University, Ghana. So he is also going to be giving us some very, very insightful information on the general overview of machine learning and AI. Sir, please, it's up to you.
Hello, good evening. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you very clearly.
Yeah, how many minutes do I have to share? I was told 5
so
minutes.
You have 10 minutes, sir.
10 minutes, that's a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to touch on, I think it's touched basically on the essentials, but I want to use 5 minutes to explain why you would need to study this course, or why it's very necessary in our domain. So I don't know whether my background is noisy. Let me put off or reduce my fan. Sorry. Yeah. So
Okay, sir.
I'll share five key things. The senior man has done a great job. Yeah. So most of the things he said, please kindly take it seriously. That's the key thing people talk about. AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to take our jobs. That's not true. AI will actually make your job rather easier. And this training is just a fundamental training you need just to. And I say that a time is coming where in Africa, we don't see a lot of robots being in use now. But if Jesus doesn't come early, the only thing is that robots will invade here. And the advantage, if you are here, that you would have is that you now know how these things work. So if robots don't operate just like that. Elon Musk came to Twitter, he had to sack a lot of people because the future of work, what we call Industry 4.0, is automation. So everything is going to be automation, and AI actually helps us with that because machine learning is actually being able to help computers take decisions without explicitly programming them. Right. So the first point why you need to study this is that in almost every industry, from finance, he's talked about education, health, and agri. It's just going to cut across even governance, right? It's going to cut across almost every industry. So whether you are a social scientist or whatever thing you do, a time is coming, robots are going to interview people. It's not going to be human beings again, right? They will look at questions. You can just feed the model or the algorithm with the data from the organization and the problems we have, and ask the AI to actually ask people questions when they come for the interview. And you can just do that. Hello, welcome. Can you introduce yourself? And then the AI will just ask you questions based on this is a typical project somebody can actually pick up, right? Where AI can be used to ask questions that directly addresses problems that would demand new joiners for any company. So the first point I want to give you is that AI is going to cut across almost every industry. So if you don't build up yourself, somebody will take up your job. That's the sad thing, because the person knows how to, not that the person is a computer scientist, the person knows how the AI works. So we'll work with the AI. The second thing is that the average AI researcher is paid over $200,000. That's the average AI researcher, right? So it's another lucrative field. Even if you're in Ghana now, it's becoming a popular thing now. Remote jobs. We're talking about Ghana being difficult and all of that. So once you can, show some level of competence that you can do this, companies like IBM, Google, Meta, LinkedIn, all of these companies, and even Microsoft, and even I spoke with someone last 2 weeks in Canada. He just shared this. He said, once you come here, the company have got the data. They just prove to them that you can do it. They just give you the data, make meaning out of it. That's all. Right. So you actually increase your chances of getting high, irrespective of where you are. You can stay in your room and make the millions of Ghana cedis or dollars just by giving yourself to this skill and getting all the necessary certifications that you need. I think we'll be talking about that too here. So please, it's another key point too you have to also learn. And again, want to talk about collaboration. AI actually does very good at that. It's a field that's actually AI machine learning are essentially interdisciplinary because it combines almost everything. And me as a computer scientist, I can choose to work anywhere, irrespective of whether they like me or not, because they make use of computers, and the leverage of AI actually makes things faster and easier. Now, we all know what ChatGPT has brought now. Almost everything is automated. And what's the beautiful thing? Aside the fact that we have privacy concerns or ethical issues when it comes to AI machine learning, the next thing is that you can actually learn to build your own AI. That's the beautiful thing about it. So if you can learn how to build your own AI, you can now use your custom company data sets to train the AI to do the things. But the foundation of it boils down to what you're going to learn, and particularly this particular module, which is the fundamentals with Python. Okay, so it's something that I really encourage everybody here to, at least if you know nothing, your child, you should be able to learn and be able to train your child, because the children coming, yeah, we will say they are over Gen Z. I think we have Gen Alpha now or something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it allows you to work almost everywhere, and again to you get opportunity to partner in because the same machine learning model, like you mentioned, the neural networks, the deep learning models, and all of those things, it's the same thing the white man is using, the same thing the black man is using. So if you know how to use it, if you know how to even build custom models or custom algorithms, you have a better advantage to work almost in any part of the world, right? And it's a field that also does not, and almost everything keeps changing. You mentioned why deep learning or neural network had to come, because we identify some level of limitations. So I would encourage almost everyone to pay attention, because this may be the first roadshow for you, and the next thing will be having to integrate with other certification courses. That now becomes a key portfolio you can build, like having AWS certification, Azure, DevOps. These things actually help throw more light to your skill as an AI enthusiast or AI engineer or machine learning engineer, so you can make yourself employable, even when we're talking about Ghana being difficult. Yeah, so that's what I have to say. I don't know whether I've exhausted my time or there's more to it.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. There were a lot of terms I heard from this talk. Well, I was hearing things like AI will make job easier, but the thing I heard that stayed with me is that I can stay in my room and make the millions. I hope everybody else heard that. This is one thing that should motivate us. I know we Gen Z, the money is one thing that motivates us. So if you can stay in your room and make the millions, I'm sure we all heard that loud and clear. So moving on, we are going to be meeting a very, I don't know how to even introduce him, but then, okay, so he is the Google Developer Group on Campus advisor and Infotest patron. And, okay, he is in the person of Dr. Stephen Opong. I know if this were to be an in-person event, we would all stand up, but then this is not an in-person event. So we welcome Dr. Stephen Opong. Please, the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm excited about the participation and the enthusiasm. And I also want to thank the facilitators and the speakers for joining and sharing such wonderful insights for us. Yeah, I know we've heard a lot of stuff about what AI can do, but I think the reason for most of us joining is how to also build our own AI applications. And how can we do that? It means we must start from the scratch. So that's what this program is all about. You're having this AI machine learning study jam. So we decided to have the first session online so that when school resumes, we can continue with the rest of the sessions in person. So for this session one, the first session will focus on learning about Python fundamentals. Now, most of these applications we are talking about are mainly developed using Python, these AI models we talk about. So if you don't understand Python, I mean, how can you even go into the AI field? So for us, we are starting from the basics, learning how Python works and some of the libraries which are mostly used in some of this stuff. I know for now, you might think the terms are technical, but I'm sure at the end of this session, all of us will be very, very comfortable with the fundamentals so that we can move on to actually building machine learning models. And also, the good thing is that all the facilitators, all of them are AI experts. And that's the area we research in and we did our, PhD in. So we have the men, and I'm sure at the end we'll be able to deliver. So this is just to actually whet your appetite on what is to come. So I want active participation. And now every participation in an event linked to Infotech and the department is rewarded. So I'll encourage all of us to join whenever the session starts or whenever the session is in progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very insightful from you. We're happy to hear from you. Now we are going to meet our mentors, the mentors of Google Developer Group on campus. And here are our mentors. We have Mr. Richard Akins. We are going to be hearing more from him later on. We have Mr. Francis, and we have Mr. Kwame Amankwa Efrifa. Yes, these are all very, very hardworking gentlemen. Yes, very, very hardworking gentlemen. And I can't wait to hear from them. I can't wait to hear from them. And also watch out for these gentlemen. When you see them, approach them. They are very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Now, moving on, we are going to be starting what we are here for today. First off, Mr. Richard Akins is going to be taking us on how to set up the environment for today's main agenda. So on setting up the environment, I invite Mr. Richard Akins to take over and then lead us.
Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to GDG on campus once again. I'm sure you know this.
Good evening, sir.
There's a familiar voice. So, okay, so without wasting much time, we'll be getting to it. So before we can actually dive into machine learning, we need to know a bit of Python and then some of the Python libraries we are going to use to embark on this journey. And before we begin, I think we should look at how we are going to install Python. So quickly going to share my screen and okay. Okay. So Python setup download will take you this very first site. That's a python.org. So you come to this site and based on your operating system.
For some reason, we can't see your screen, sir. Can't see your screen.
You can see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can't see your screen. Okay, now we can see your screen.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So the sorry, the website is python.org. So you just go to downloads, and based on your operating system, it automatically detects your operating system. So you can download for Mac OS, Linux, or Windows. So you scroll all the way down here, and then you are going to see the versions you will need. I think it's better to stay on the current version, but then for starters, you can do with 3.12 upwards, yeah, or let's say 3.8 upwards. Okay, so downloading Python. So let's say most people are on Windows, so you go to Windows, and you are going to see the 64 bits, 32 bits. So let's go with the 64 bit. So it downloads, and then you just install. I can install Python from here. So let's go back. Okay, so I'll share the links to these files afterwards. So on my Mac, I install Python from here. So it downloads, and then I install after the download. So I'm just going to pause this so that this can download. And Python is just the beginning. So that's the language you're going to use. And the next thing we're going to look at is Anaconda. So Anaconda is a distribution for Python. It contains a collection of Python libraries you are going to need for machine learning. So we are going to download Anaconda. But to download this, you are going to supply your email address and then submit. A download link will be sent to your email. But so let's just do this. So I use a temporary email address because I'm not going to need to download the link again. So okay, so I'll copy this address, I paste it here. Submit. And I should receive the link to download over here. So tap on download. You can use your email address, that's fine, but this is a disposable mail, so it's okay by me.
So at this point, we can't see your screen again, so kindly check that for us.
Wow. Okay, I think I can share my whole screen. Can you see now? Okay, good.
Can you see this one? Oh.
So you tap on this link to download. I don't know why it's not opening. I could just copy the link, paste it here. So you come here, this is the site. So you can either skip the Python installation itself because Anaconda already comes with a Python version, right? So you download for Windows and the size is 912. This is because it comes with a lot of the libraries you are going to need for machine learning already bundled in the Anaconda installer. So you download this, you install, and you are going to get this. So this is what you're going to get, Anaconda Navigator. So this allows you to create Python virtual environment for you to work in. So basically, when you talk of Python virtual environment, it simply means that an isolated environment where you can work on your project so that the dependencies of one project will not intersect with the dependencies of another project. As we go along, we will get to understand this stuff better. So this is how the Anaconda Navigator looks like. I can sign in now. Okay. So at a glance, you can see that it comes with some IDs and then Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. You are going to be making use of these ones a lot. And on your left side, you can see environment. So environment. So this environment contains the section for creating virtual environment for your project. So this one environment I have here, this another one. There's the base environment. So if we just create a new one like this. Okay. We just create a new one by coming down here. I hope you can see my screen. Coming down here, you see create over here. So clicking on this brings up this. So I'll see test env. Please make sure there are no spaces in. So you see the location here where the environment is going to be created. Don't worry. And then you choose the Python version for the environment. So that's one advantage of Anaconda. It helps you choose different versions of Python for each project you want to work in. So I'm choosing Python 3.12.7 and I'll create this env. So as you can see, the test env has been created here. I have my VM here. Now every package you here. So or next. So let me just quickly fire up each of them. Let me use VS Code. So let's say I'm to create a project. ML. I hope I'm not going too fast. So I've created an empty project. There's nothing in over here. So what we do here is to activate the virtual environment here. So as you can see, I have base here. Okay. And if you look at Conda, we have base. So by default, if you launch any Python project, if you have Conda installed, it's going to start in base. We don't want that. So what we are going to do is we are going to say Conda activate and what's name test env. So I'll say test env. So now you can see that test env, let me zoom in, has been set as the default virtual environment here. So all the packages we are going to install are going coming into the test environment. If you want to install any package in Python, you use the pip command. So pip install, which package are we installing today? Pandas. But I already have Pandas installed, so this is what I get. If I don't have it, it's going to download. So it just copies it from my Python local cache, and then it adds it to my test env. So if we come back to Conda, and Conda, we should see my packages are still loading, but we should see all the libraries that are enabled in my virtual environment I created. So where's Python? Where's Pandas? It's not here yet. I think I have to reload or something. It's still loading the packages, but you should see the packages here. Okay. So that is one, setting up Python and then Anaconda. Derek, could you walk me through the Conda installation? It's just basic installation, but then when you are installing, just make sure that when you get to the configuration parts, you choose where it says add path, add to path. I have an image.
Okay, so should I share my screen now?
Yeah, if you have, that would be good.
Okay, so I have it here. So let me share my screen then.
Since you do question and answers, you should stop making it.
Okay. If you have, where is this? Where is it? Okay, so all right.
Okay, so the final step is to set up a Kaggle account. So while Derek is showing his screen,
You've already installed it.
I've already installed. I didn't.
Yeah, just choose a different location. You're not going to go to.
All right. All right.
I'm not sure you'll be able to install due to your storage size, but you can't because you're required to have 5.2 gig
Oh
and your
my.
storage available is 4.5.
Oh,
Yeah,
So you don't
that's
worry.
because my
I'll
you
share a
said
slide containing how to set up with this. So
okay, okay. That would be better.
okay. So the last thing is to get a Kaggle account. I think I'm out of time here. So you head over to kaggle.com.
there we go.
So,
Share the screen.
yeah, it's my screen on. So let me quickly do this in a minute. So go to kaggle.com.
Hey, Ekins is presented.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll be done right now.
okay,
So-
okay.
So kaggle.com, right? And create an account. You can just do this with your Google account. If you have a Gmail account, you can just sign in with your Google account. So you see register with Google here, you see register with email. So just register with Google and just choose your Google account. And then after you are done, it doesn't require anything much. So after you are done, you just get to this interface, right? So this is where we'll be working. You have home, compositions, dataset, models, code, and learn. For starters, we'll be learning here. And this is the first course you are going to be doing. No, not this one. Introduction to Python. So if I were you, I'll start going through this. This is a quick session. It's very self-explanatory. So it takes you through Python and step by step, explains a concept, and then you solve a simple exercise at the end. So basically, this is how the course looks like for Python. So I'll entreat all of us to sign up and then go through these processes so that we actually get done with the basic parts very fast. So I would like to end my presentation over here and hand over to the host.
Yes, so would like to thank Mr. Richard Akins for that wonderful session on how to set up the environment. Honestly, over here the network was really, really terrible, so we were not really following. But then, since you said you were going to share a video on how to do that, I'm sure that would be really helpful to a lot of us here. And so with that, we move to a little question and answer because I saw a few people raising their hands while the session was going on. So I think now would be a good time for you to ask those questions. Yeah, Faith, I can see you. So can you kindly unmute and then ask your question? Yes, Faith, it seems you don't want to ask your question. I also see Beto Ralph. If you have a question, kindly unmute yourself and then ask your question. Yes, Ralph, I see your hands. Can you kindly unmute yourself and then ask your question?
Please, my problem is, Mr. Richard Kwaku, if you do some videos so that we can see what is teach now, because we can't see anything on the screen.
Okay.
This is my problem.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Akins, please, can you address that?
Yes, the video recording will be available.
Okay, Raf, I hope you
Okay.
heard that. There will be a
Yes,
recording
please.
video available to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Nana Ajima Edward, please, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Yes, Edward. You raise your hand. Can you kindly unmute and then ask your question? Okay, Gideon, can you also kindly unmute and ask your question? I believe you can all hear me. I asked Gideon to unmute yourself and ask your questions. But if you have no questions, Roger Boachi, can you kindly unmute yourself?